Cruz. And fellas, the Giants fell to the visiting Eagles 48-22. The team with the best record in the NFL, 12-1 now, just dominated from start to finish. When it rains, it pours, quite literally. A rainy Sunday here at MetLife Stadium. Where do you begin to break this one down, Shaun?
Yeah, great question, Madelyn. I think when you look at this game, this was the ultimate flex by the Philadelphia Eagles. Look, they're the better team. This was clearly the all-pros versus the all-Joes right now. And look, they've got a better roster, but right out of the gate, the Eagles just took it to the Giants. And to go up early, 21-0, I mean, it started out on the first possession of the game. They get a sack. Brandon Graham beats Andrew Thomas for a sack early on, and that was kind of the story of the day. I think when you kind of look at what just transpired, Vic, it's almost like you have a big brother and, you know, like you're starting to feel yourself like, hey, I think we're pretty good. And then you try your big brother and he kind of puts you in a body bag and, you know, takes you down, pins you, and makes you tap out. That's what today felt like. And I think for the Giants, this was a good reminder and a good test for them to know, like, okay, this is the best team in the NFL, basically. You could argue that, not just the NFC. Where do we stack up? And this, as an NFL team and as a player, you always want to know, what's our barometer? All right, how good are we?
Yeah.
What do we need to do to get better? This was a great test for the Giants, and it showed them exactly what they are deficient in.
Yeah, and it showed them exactly what, you know, what things we need to work on. And what things we need to work on, first and foremost, is scoring points. You knew coming into this game that you needed to score points in order to beat this football team. We knew 21 points wasn't going to get it done. You needed to be in that 30s, even 40s range, as you can see, and really match that energy that they were going to come with. And from the beginning of the game, we just felt the opposite. We just knew they were going to come in with their best punch, and we took it on the chin and wasn't able to come back from that. I mean, they had 7 sacks on the day to our 4. They just felt like they dominated in every phase of this football game, and the Giants got to go back to the drawing board and see what things they can fix and get better moving forward.
Right, and you mentioned 7 sacks on the day. From the start, that was an issue. Daniel Jones was sacked twice on the opening possession.
Yeah.
From the start, this game, it felt very lopsided, very uneven. This is a very good Philadelphia Eagles team, a very balanced Philadelphia Eagles team, but the Giants just really couldn't cut it and compete with it. It took a while for them to get going in this one, and especially, you know, we talk about turnovers. You know, turnovers, takeaways, you've got to win that battle. The Giants didn't have any today.
No, Matt, to your point about starting fast, like if you're the Giants, you can't afford to slow start against the Eagles. When you look at who they are and what they've been in the NFL this year, they've been the best first-half team in the league. They outscore their opponents by 7 points every single week, so you cannot afford to start slow. I'm sure Brian Daboll talked about that. Yeah. We need a fast start. And defensively, look, to give up those early scores, this is not a team. The Giants are not built to come from behind like that. They're not built offensively to all of a sudden be able to come back and erase a 14-point deficit. It's much more ball control. And I think the challenge coming into this game was we've got to keep Jalen Hurts off the field. We've got to get the defense off the field on third down. They couldn't do that. Yeah. I think when you look at what the Eagles did, who did they attack on the Giants defense? They went after the slot. Right, Devontae Smith, they kept picking on Darnay Holmes. They kept going after the slot receivers. And I think that that's something that if you're the Giants, you look at, okay, we've got to find a way to put that fire out. Because guess what? You know in the NFL, if you can't stop something one week, you're going to see it the next week and the week after until you put the fire out.
And they've been doing it all year long. They've been attacking that slot, that nickel position at the receiver spot. And they were just running, and I've been seeing a lot of teams do this throughout the year, just running that inside fade, whether it's in the red zone, whether it's out in space. That inside fade from that slot receiver position, that's where Devontae Smith scored today. That's where Julian Love kind of came over the top. Should have had an interception, but Devontae came out with the catch and brought it into the end zone. Those are the type of plays that are just inside fades. You get open, you be an athlete, the guy's going to throw it up for you and just make that play. And they couldn't
made
stop
a career out of that.
I made a career out of
there.
That's how
Especially
I know. I can call it. When you see single high safety and you see press man inside and out, it's almost a trigger. We had it as a check. If we saw that coverage early on when we came out at the ball, Eli would make the check and I would just adjust.
Well, you mentioned that Devontae Smith touchdown, though, too. That Devontae Smith touchdown, 41-yard reception. Julian Love was closing in, almost had that interception, didn't. But the important thing to highlight about that play is it was a 4th and 7 play.
Just bat it down.
4th and 7. Number one, just bat it down. But number two, when if you are that defense and you see them going for it on 4th and 7 in that field position, do you feel a little disrespected?
A little bit. I mean, you feel like you're sitting back on your heels. You're like, man, I can't believe they're going for it. I can't. But on the flip side, you want to make them pay.
Right.
And we had an opportunity to either get an interception or bat the ball down on the ground to get the turnover on downs, and maybe that would have provided a spark or some type of jolt into this offense to just build some momentum and maybe get in the end zone, and who knows what happens after that. You know, this team is a very energy-driven team, so when good things happen in our favor, when good things are rolling for the offense and even for the defense, creating turnovers, getting to the quarterback, that's the type of thing that this team feeds off of, and they build on that throughout the year. Being down 21-zip or coming down to that early loss, that early deficit, it's hard to climb out of that hole. We're just not, like Shaun said, we're just not built that way.
We're not built that way. And look, I think that there's always something you could take out of every game and every situation, regardless of the loss. Last week, we were all disappointed with the tie. I think there's a couple things you take away from last week's game. They were down 10-0 early. They got off to another slow start, like you mentioned, but they found a way to get back into the game, had a chance to win the game. This game, they started out slow, but all of a sudden, they scored a touchdown, got a little momentum, blocked the punt. That was a huge play for the special teams to contribute. Coming into this game, it was, all right, we're going to need a contribution on special teams. We're going to need a couple of defensive takeaways, and we're going to need a couple of big plays offensively to even have a chance to win the football game. So the special teams stepped up from that standpoint. I know it was a little tough day for the Irish Hammer with one of his muff punts where he just kind of dropped it. But the Giants, I give them credit because they got momentum. They got themselves back into within striking distance, and until the end, all of a sudden the game kind of got out of hand a little bit, but they still found a way to kind of get back into the game in the first half and try to make something of it.
Yeah, you mentioned the Scottish Hammer, Jamie Gillan, just dropped the ball, forgot to kicked it, ended up getting a penalty there. It was just that right there is in a nutshell the way that this team came out of the day.
He was able to kick the ball after it bounced off the ground.
Heads-up play.
That could have been a win.
Yeah, it's like, all right, bounce it. We got much more to come here on the show. We're going to continue to break this one down. The first guest of our post-game show received a gift certificate to Ben & Jack's, located on 44th Street in Manhattan. From the celebrated porterhouse to finer seafood, Ben & Jack's will surpass your expectations of what a steakhouse should be. Tough division loss for this New York Football Giants team. After the break, we're going to hear from head coach Brian Daboll. That and much more as Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by NFL All Day, continues after this.
What if you could own a moment? A moment when everything is on the line. I know the moment I'd want. Sunday, January 16th, the playoffs. We couldn't miss. That's a moment I'd like to own forever. Now, you can too. Own the moments that matter. NFL All Day.
It's finally here. The Ford Get Holiday Ready sales event featuring the best offers of the year. Bring the extended family across all terrain, all the presents, and even the tree. You've got the power to make spirits bright. Inventory is arriving daily, so come on in and let Ford help you slay that ride. Now, take immediate delivery of a 2022 Ford F-150 with 2.9% financing for 60 months.
10 years ago, we started Untuck It out of my apartment, and today we have more than 80 stores worldwide. We didn't just create shirts designed to be worn untucked, we perfected them. But we didn't stop with shirts. We also created so much more, from polos to sweaters to pants. We even have a line just for her. So everyone can look sharp in this new business comfortable world. Find the perfect holiday gift at untuckit.com or at your nearest store.
We're such big Nick fans, we decided to name our son after Walt Frazier.
The greatest Nick of all time.
His nice suit. This is my favorite one. Dad's shoes, Mom's, and Walt's shoes. If we get to meet Clyde, he could see Walt and the little Pumas.
It would be amazing.
It would be the coolest thing.
Wins are hard to come by in this league. And we got a scrappy bunch.
The fans certainly did their part.
They absolutely did.
Coach, let's get into some plays.
You try to coach that the best you can. But remember, it's still about our preparation and our process.
Hey, Giants fans, celebrate New Year's Day with the Giants and a group of your closest friends and family. Catch the latest home game and the last home game of the regular season at MetLife Stadium as they take on the Indianapolis Colts. Group offers are available for groups of 10 or more people. Inventory is limited, though, so scan the QR code to learn more. Giants, Colts, New Year's Day, a 1 p.m. kickoff right here at MetLife Stadium. Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by NFL All Day. A tough loss for this Giants team in the division as the Eagles come into town. 48-22 is the final score. Before the break, Shaun, we were talking about the punting in this game, and there were a couple of moments that there were some muff punts. You know, Jamie Gillan had that dropped punt kick situation. I don't even know how to begin to describe that. Drop kick punt, you know, right? Drop kick Murphy's doing their best.
Go. Nice.
And then the Giants blocked a punt in the end zone that set them up the 15, and that was the way they got on the scoreboard and they scored their first touchdown. special teams, though, right now, what's your makeup of the way special teams came out today?
It's been a mixed bag because, you love the block punt, and, of course, they were backed up. I think their ball was on, like, the 2-yard line, so you know that the punter, he's not going to have his normal 14 yards. So kudos to Thomas McGahee for having the right rush and getting that impact. But then after that, and the Giants get the touchdown, they let Boston Scott rip off a 67-yard kickoff return. And it's kind of like, all right, that's the mixed bag I'm talking about. You have a great play, and then you let up a big return.
Right.
And for Giants fans, Boston Scott is our nemesis. I mean, he's like been our kryptonite. So to see him do that, it's just that was a tough turn of events right there. I think, we talked about it before. In a game like today, you needed the special teams to come up with some sort of big play, and they did that. So I think that was a great contribution. It provided a spark. The offense was able to punch it in. And after that play and after that sequential score by the offense, it felt like, all right, hey, we got a shot. Now we got some momentum. All right, let's do this. And then they let the return go.
It's like it blew the wind right out of our sails. Right when we get that big play, right when they're like, okay, this is a turning point for us. Let's capitalize on this. Let's get our offense, get our defense energized, back on the field, maybe make a big play, make something happen. But you give up that big run by Scott right after the block punt, right after you get in the end zone. And that's what we're talking about. We can't afford, we're not the type of team that can afford to let those things go, to let those things up on kickoff return, on the special teams. If we're already dealing with enough offensively and defensively, our special teams has to be the rock and has to be the anchor and maybe create a turnover and create a big play, which they did today on the obviously the punt return team. So it's just, those are things that this team can't fall behind. We have to be able to capitalize on those small things, those energy plays, and really take it one day at a time.
And not just the special teams. I mean, I think the defense, this was probably the roughest outing for the defense all season long.
For sure.
And look, the Eagles, I mean, they're one of the best offenses in the league right now. Statistically, they're in the top 5 in almost every category. But when you just look at how the team has been playing, like I always say, it's not always who you play, but when you play them. The Eagles just put up 40 on the Packers. They just put up 35 on the Titans. Like they're in the moment right now. They're feeling it. Like they are in the groove. And so you knew you can't give up the big plays, and yet it seemed like Devontae Smith the big play, A.J. Brown with the big play, Miles Sanders with a 40-yard run. And those type of plays defensively, we really haven't given up all season long, but for some reason they showed up today. Got to give credit to the Eagles. They found a way to make it happen.
This tells us our defense too, right? The Eagles had 27 first downs on the day. 15 of them were on rushing plays.
Yeah.
So that tells you that our defense was out there for a long time. Bend but don't break, but there's moments where they're just tired. They're just exhausted, and that's the tough part about playing defense.
Right,
fly
and
when you can
banged
drive.
up too, right? Right, exactly. Banged up as well. Leonard Williams, once again, not in the lineup, a key part of the middle of that line as well. And just kind of, looking at the way that this defense as a unit struggled, but in individual moments, you see Aziz Ojulari out there with 2 sacks. A great performance by that young man. You see there are glimpses and flashes across the board in the defense, but as a whole, it's about getting everyone to kind of sing in the same level, right?
Yeah, it's about sustaining that. The thing about football is, yes, we have those energy plays. Yes, you have the type of team that can make those plays, and we've seen it, but sustaining that and containing that energy throughout the entire time is the tricky part.
Yeah, sustaining it indeed. All right, for more on this, let's set it down to the Ford post-game podium as head coach Brian Daboll is addressing the media.
How's everybody doing? Tough game. Credit to Philly. It's a good football team over there, and they pretty much did everything better than we did. So, get back to work and get ready for Washington.
A lot of people view this as sort of like a litmus test for you guys to see, like, where you stand compared to some of the better teams or best team in the NFL. What does it say to you?
We got beat handily. I mean, just 48 to whatever it was. They're a good football team. Give them a lot of credit. Got to get back to work.
Coach, obviously next week you have a big game. How quick you have to get this now to review, be able to move on?
We'll go in tomorrow and watch the tape and learn from some of the things that we can do better and move on to Washington, in the afternoon.
What was your strategy for Saquon? Obviously, he started. He was able to play. Were you going to limit him even if the score didn't get out of hand? Or?
Yeah, we had I wouldn't say we had a pitch count, but I think we had a plan. He came in early and got his treatment and got looked at by the doctors and the medical staff, and we're just going to make sure we were being smart with him.
How close was that decision as far as just holding him out versus playing him? Was that something that was...
No, he was good to go. But again, I just wanted to make sure that we weren't overloading him.
Second half there, that was him. You guys take him out because of the game flow, not anything to do with the injury at that point?
Yeah. Yep.
What was the explanation that Gillen gave you on the drop punt? Did it fall out his hands? Any explanation there?
Yeah, it just fell, slipped. Yep.
You raved about Jalen all week. Were you surprised at what type of performance he put out there today?
No, good player. Yep, good player, good team. He's hard to defend, and they played well, and he played well.
This kind of loss could be a reality check for the team to find out how close they are to being a contender.
No, I just think you got to get ready. You got to get ready. I told you before, when you're winning, it's fine. When you're losing, it's humbling. You lose like this, you own it. You don't make any excuses. They played well, and we get to, have an opportunity to get ready and play a big game on Sunday night.
Brian, the execution obviously wasn't what you wanted, but were you okay with the effort part of it?
Yeah, I think the guys strain. They give effort. Look, they got off to a good, fast start, which they normally do, which is not how you want to play against that team. And, certainly competed, but, they kept making plays. We kept giving them opportunities, some short fields in the kicking game, whether it was a drop punt or a return. So the guys are busting their tail. We just got to do a little bit better.
Brian, on the Gillen play, what is he coached to do in that situation?
Yeah, I think he tried to save it. We got to do a better job there.
Brian, you talk so much about resilience.
Yeah.
Is going into Washington, is that really a test of that resilience that you talk about?
Well, I think anytime you lose in this league, you have to be resilient, particularly, last few weeks we've lost some games, haven't had the results we want. So, again, you don't make any excuses. You own it, and everything starts with me. And then we get ready to get to work for the next week. There's really no secret thing to just flip it right away. The guys are doing what we're asking them to do. We just got to do a little bit better, all of us.
You guys give up 253 yards rushing.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
It's a lot of yards rushing. Yeah, we got to do better there.
Why though? It seems like.
Well, I think the flow of the game.
It seems to be against that edge. Like, why can't you protect the edge on?
Well, I think the flow of the game. It's a collective. It's a collective stat too. When you're down, what you're down. They didn't run the ball too much at halftime. Would they have 8 runs or something like that? Which we talked about at halftime. We knew it would be probably flip a little bit. And they're a good running team. And I think Jalen made a few plays with his legs on some zone reads. And the backs are good. They're a good team. They block it well up front, so way too many yards.
You gave up some real chunk plays in the passing game. The third down.
Yeah.
Things. With guys who you have to play with.
Yeah.
Is it a situation where there's too many holes that you're trying to patch up here?
No excuses. They played good. They made some good throws and catches, and give them credit.
Would you like to make it more difficult, though? Is what I'm saying. Make them not throw a 40-yard pass or a 35-yard pass. Make them kind of earn their way down the field instead of just throwing it over the top and running into the end zone.
Absolutely. Yeah.
On the touchdown pass to Devontae, when Julian coming over the top.
Yeah.
In that situation, what do you want him to do, and how should he play that?
I think he thought he had it. We try to go high point the ball. I think he thought he had it when he came over to the bench. I asked him, I said, "What'd you see?" He's like, "I thought I had it." Devontae made a good play. We missed out on it, and big touchdown.
Brian, no player likes to lose. This kind of loss is pretty much beat down. That can be demoralizing. Are you concerned that the guys in there are demoralized?
No. Again, it's hard to remain consistent after poor results. But I think that's something that we've stressed since day one. There's no room for excuses or a bunch of explanations. We got beat. They outcoached us. They outplayed us. And we got to get ready to go soon. The season's winding down here, and we got an important one on Sunday.
What happened with Ballinger? Did he get re-injured, or he just couldn't go when he came back in?
No, I think he got re-injured. He came back. They looked at him. Then he went back. He's pretty sore. I don't want to say. I think it was ribs, but I don't want to I didn't talk to the trainers, but I'm pretty sure it was.
Is it unusual to play a team 2 weeks after you've played them before? Are you used to that in terms of preparation for them?
Yeah, I think, being in the league as long as I've been in the league, I'm sure there's certain times, but none of that really matters. It's, get back to work, and, you just prepared for that team. They had a bye week, so they haven't had an opponent, so it'll be a big one on Sunday night.
Coach, Boston Scott got you a few times, pretty good returns. One big one after you guys cut it to 21-7. Was that planned, those shorter kicks, or was there something Graham was coming up short?
Yeah, no, it wasn't necessarily planned. We got to do a good job of getting off blocks and running down in our lanes and making tackles.
This is now 1 win in 6 games. What do you attribute the sputtering down the stretch to for the team?
I just look at this game, Jordan. Just like in the beginning of the year, I don't think one game does anything to the next. I really don't think it does when you lose. You got to play well. You got to coach well. So we'll have a big game against Washington, and that's where our focus is going to need to be.
I know we talked about the consistency and staying consistent, but how do you tell these guys, no matter what happened the last couple of weeks, it's all right in front of us and reset? How do you communicate that to them?
Just like that. Yeah, just honest and, huh?
You want me to do it?
No. Look, guys, losing sucks. You put a lot into it, and look, we got beat. There's no other way to talk about it. We got beat in every area. They're a good football team, and think about it tonight. And do the things you need to do to move on tomorrow, and get ready to play Washington.
Okay. All right, Dave.
All right, thanks, guys.
Daniel.
That sound from head coach Brian Daboll, brought to you by Ford, who says, hey, you know what? You lose like this, you got to own it, but move on and prepare for Washington on Sunday Night Football next week. We've got much more to come here on Giants Postgame Live, but first, the New York Giants official mobile app is your destination for all things New York Giants. The updated mobile app includes the best Giants highlights, news, videos, photos, and podcasts, available for free for Apple and Android phones and tablets. Stay with us. Much more to come here on Giants Postgame Live after this break.
It's said we make 35,000 decisions a day. That's a lot to keep track of. But with the right insights from citizens, the money decisions feel easier.
Oh, that's normal. Wow.
This holiday season, get 2.9% APR for 48 months plus 500 trade assist cash on a new 2023 Forte.
Every day, nearly 2 million customers across New Jersey rely on PSE&G to provide natural gas. And every day, PSE&G is committed to doing it safely. That includes making sure you know what to do if you smell gas. A natural gas leak smells like rotten eggs. If you suspect a gas leak, leave your home immediately. Get far away, then call 911. Remember, smell, leave, call. Protect the ones you love. Learn more at pseg.com/gas safety.
BMW, Freightliner, Ford, and many more of the world's leading brands hire Universal Technical Institute grads. And now we're expanding to new industries. Since 1965, UTI has become known for its training in fields like auto, diesel, and welding. And with new programs coming in fields like aviation maintenance, HVACR, and wind energy, you can get more. Don't wait. Now's the time to train for a career you're passionate about. Visit uti.edu today.
Aaron Judge is the American League most valuable player and had one of the greatest seasons in baseball history. To honor his historic season, BigTimeBats.com is proud to release the officially licensed Aaron Judge MVP Bat Collection. The stunning full-size silver chrome bat is limited to only 100 bats. Also available are the traditional maple wood bat and the two-tone high-gloss Extremum bat. Go to BigTimeBats.com now.
Time now for the scoring drive of the game, presented by HCL Tech, supercharging progress, the official digital transformation partner of the New York Giants. For the scoring drive of the game, we bring you to the third quarter. We had 11 plays, 75 yards, took 5 minutes and 41 seconds off the clock, capped by a 1-yard rushing touchdown by Giants quarterback Daniel Jones. That's the scoring drive of the game, brought to you by HCL Tech, the official digital transformation partner of the New York Giants. Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live, presented by NFL All Day. The Giants fall to the visiting Eagles 48-22. For more, let's send it down to the Ford Postgame podium to hear from Giants safety Julian Love.
Julian, what happened on that Devontae Smith touchdown?
Made a great break on the ball. Thought I had it. And just in that situation, I either got to take him out or just high point it. And so, yeah, I judged it. I thought, well, it's just I got to go up and get it.
Is that on your mind when you're in that situation? I know it's a split-second thing, but you've seen penalties called in that situation where if you try to take him out, that may be a penalty. Do you factor that in that split second, or is it just make the play in the moment?
Yeah, I'm like, I read it perfectly. I thought ball was in the air. Thought it was slightly overthrown, and so I thought I had an easy just catch it opportunity. I didn't realize, his positioning. I just misjudged, and so in that situation, I got to make contact and go and get it.
Julian, this team has exceeded expectations this season, but obviously facing a team like the Eagles serves as a test. What does the result say about the team?
Yeah, sometimes you get your ass beat. That's just as simple as it is. But we can't let this fester, really. We got to go in tomorrow, make corrections, and then our morale has to stay high because it's been high all year. That's what has brought close games, home for us. And so, yeah, that's kind of the story. That's the message is we got to correct this. It sucks. You're going to feel, a little bit hurt. But you got to bounce back because we got important stuff in front of us still.
Have you ever played against a team so close, like Washington last week? You got them coming up next week. And what does that do for you preparation-wise?
I can't remember if I've ever had it this close together, especially division games. But, yeah, I think they're fresh on your mind. And so we left some stuff out there last week that we had to make opportunities on this week. And so it's a big week of prep for us.
This being the first time you've seen the Eagles live, how good are they in your estimation? Just watching them up close and personally.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're pretty balanced across the board. There was opportunities from plays from a few of us early in the game, and that's kind of been the story of that Eagles team. And so we got to make the plays because then when that happens, then they get a lead and we're stressing to make plays then at that point. And so we got to keep the offense on the field. Defense has to get off the field much sooner. And, yeah, they're a good team.
Julian, you played. Well, from last year to this year, it seems like he's made a huge step forward.
Yeah, I think their play calling has really stepped up, allowing him some good reads when it's time to run. Obviously, he's dangerous with his legs. They have a good back to complement the run game, and then you add a guy like A.J. Brown, it changes things. And so, yeah, their team is pretty balanced, and thankfully we have another shot at them.
That sound from Giant safety Julian Love, brought to you by Ford. 6 tackles, 3 assisted, 9 combined. His 7th straight game with 7 or more total tackles. But, of course, a lot of questions for Julian about that touchdown from Devontae Smith in the second quarter on that 4th and 7 play. And, guys, being out on the field, it's easy for an armchair quarterback to look at it and say, this is what he should have done. But being out on the field in real time, you got to make these split-second decisions, right?
Yeah, I agree. And I like what he said about when being asked if he's thinking about taking a guy out and taking that penalty. You always wonder if defensive players are really thinking about that, as that call has been heightened over the past few years. But one thing he said, and as a true defender, and he's been around the league a bunch, he's a leader on this football team, he knows when you go through that ball, if you're eyeing ball and man, you got to go up and high point that. Right. As a DB, anytime that ball is above your head, you have to go up at the highest point and go get that football. And he knows that. I think he thought it was overthrown, probably underestimated Devontae's speed on the back end on that specific play, and thought he was going to have an easy run-through interception, when in turn he needed to potentially either, again, go through that offensive player legally with his shoulder, or go up and high point the football if he was really clean about getting that interception.
Yeah, I credit Julian Love for staying at the podium and taking the heat. You know, he very easily could have said, I'm not going to go there, knowing that he was going to get asked about that specific play. Look, Julian Love has been the defensive MVP of the season for the Giants. He's done everything that they've asked him to, and then some. With Xavier McKinney going down, we all know the story. I think for one of those plays, you see in real time happen just how hard it is to play defense in the NFL. Yeah. Because to his point, it's like, all right, I've got to make a decision. Am I making the play on the ball, or am I going to take the receiver out? Yep. You can't hit these receivers anymore. So if you're trying to break the ball up, the bam-bam plays, you've got a limited space to hit the guy. I can only hit you from here to here. So even that's a risk. Yeah. I think his only wish with that is that he was more aggressive with the ball. He said he thought he had the catch. He let the ball come to him. If he would have been a little more aggressive and attacked that ball, it would have been an interception. But again, that's one play. We can't focus on just that play. That play did not lose the game for the Giants.
For sure.
Right.
They gave up a lot of other big plays, and offensively they were asleep at the wheel. You can't punt the ball in your first 4 possessions offensively and think that you're going to stay in the game against the Eagles.
Yeah, tough loss for this Giants team. But as Brian Daboll says, you know what? You lose like this, you got to own it. Julian Love doing just that at the podium. And you know what? This team is moving forward, looking ahead. All right, we've got much more to come after the break on Giants Postgame Live. We're going to hear from Giants quarterback Daniel Jones. Much more to come, but first, ready to take repping your team to the next level. NFL All Day is the ultimate new way to showcase your Giants fandom. Built for the digital world. Collect your favorite moments from stars like Saquon Barkley. Use them to compete for epic fan prizes. Try it out today on NFLAllDay.com. Much more to come. Stay with us.
Everyone loves an underdog story. You know why? Because it fills you with hope, makes you believe, right? Hold on now. Did you say any team? So now I can bet the overdog for underdog odds? Team Overdog, where you at? Let me hear you.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Bet just $5 to win $200 if your team wins. Action's so good, why bet NFL anywhere else?
Comfort is for every room in your home and everyone. When you take steps to improve your energy efficiency, you can enjoy all your favorite spaces just a little bit more. A home energy assessment is a great place to start. PSC&G offers expert advice to identify energy-saving opportunities in every room, and we'll help you pick the home energy assessment that's right for you. That's relaxation just the way you like it. Brought to you by PSC&G.
Mercedes-Benz is turning electric completely on its head, bringing legendary design and state-of-the-art technology to a fully electric SUV. The all-new, all-electric EQB from Mercedes-Benz.
Dancing is everything. Soccer is the best.
But her moderate to severe eczema could make it hard for her.
Now I'm staying ahead of it.
Dupixent helps heal your skin from within so they can have clearer skin and less itch. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your doctor about Dupixent.
With Prime Video, explore glow-ups, breakups, and mess-ups. Do you think this is funny?
I do.
Even add on your perfect match. Prime Video lets you binge hit shows, stream live sports, watch, rent, and buy additional movies, and even add on other streamers like Discovery Plus. So much to love in one app.
Wow.
See where it takes you. Prime Video.
They're a good team, fast and physical, and execute their assignments. So credit to them, but they played well today.
Daniel, when you guys get down in the hole like you did today, does that affect what you guys are trying to do offensively, you think, against them, and give them an advantage, and you're down 14, and then it kind of balloons from there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it can. It can affect what we're doing, and you know, we can't afford to get off to a slow start like that. You know, we didn't do much those first 2 drives and fell behind. So, you know, we gotta do something to catch ourselves and make a play and get going. So it was disappointing we weren't able to do that. But yeah, I think when you get down in a game like that, it can affect you know, how you approach it.
Did those 2 sacks in the first drive sort of, I don't know, send a message from them or cause you guys to have to make some adjustments earlier than you had planned?
I mean, they're a good rush. They're good up front. We knew that going into the game. So, you know, I don't think that you know, changed anything we were doing or changed our approach going forward at that point. So, yeah, we just gotta find a way to make a play. Find a way to score some points and get going a little earlier in the game.
That sound from Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, brought to you by Ford. As we take a look at his numbers today, 18 completions on 27 attempts, 169 yards, and 1 touchdown. He also added 4 rushing attempts for 26 yards and a touchdown. Of course, that 1-yard rushing touchdown, that was our scoring drive of the game earlier in the show. You know, listening to the way that Daniel Jones recapped this one, we were talking about this a little bit in the break. What Daniel Jones gave this team today is what is to be expected from Daniel Jones, right?
Yeah, it's pretty status quo. You look at the numbers, 18 to 27, 169 passing yards. He had 4 rushes for 26 yards and a touchdown. I mean, that's pretty much standard for him. I mean, he's never been the guy to give you 250, 300 yards passing. I don't think our team is even conducive to that style of offense. I think we're just, you know, especially in our playmaking areas, we're just trying to get the ball downfield, get third downs, rush the ball, use Daniel Jones's legs and Saquon as threats, and then play action off of that. I think that's pretty much our offensive game plan for the most part. But, you know, you look at that, but you look at the 2 sacks to start the game. You look at how that shell shocks an offense. You look at moving forward, they had 7 sacks total, 2 hour 4. I mean, he just was playing, looking over his shoulder the entire game, especially on those 3rd and long situations. He just never really looked comfortable in the pocket on 3rd downs. We were 30% efficiency on 3rd down. That just tells you he wasn't comfortable. We weren't in a flow today. I think Eagles really dominated the line of scrimmage, and you could just tell the offense wasn't really in flow today, and that's what Daniel Jones was
Yeah, they dominated the line of scrimmage, and let's be honest, their corners, James Bradbury and Darius Slayton, 2 of the best corners in the league right now. They've been 2 of the
that entire
most efficient.
defense is
like, I mean,
stacked,
it looks like the Pro Bowl team out there.
Exactly.
I think just to also put some context into those stats that you showed for Daniel Jones, the Eagles have the #1 pass defense in the league. They're giving up 185 yards a game, and so DJ was close to that. And to your point, a lot of those sacks, guess what? You go back and watch the film, and it's like, hey, if you had a little more time, there was somebody open. So there's so many times that you look at it and it's like, oh, man, we had a touchdown, but there was pressure, and they didn't get a chance to get the ball off. So there was a lot of yards left out there, but Daniel talked about it. They got off to a slow start. We talked about that earlier on, and he mentioned it. You can't start slow against a team like the Eagles and then expect to be able to still run the football and have play-action passing game. That's what this offense does best. That's the design to win football games. Right now, it's not to be in shotgun on 1st and 10, 3 wide receivers, and we're airing the ball out because up front, look, we're on our 5th left guard. You know, Nick Gates is filling in admirably at left guard right now, but he's really a center, and that's not the way this team is built, to come from behind and try to throw the ball 55 times a game.
Well, especially when you're coming from the behind and you're trying to air it out. Daniel Jones' #1 target in recent weeks, Darius Slayton, was really locked down by Darius Slay. It was a Slay on Slayton matchup right here.
They came to Slay?
They came to Slay for sure. Our Paul Dottino is now down in the locker room with our Darius Slayton. Let's have a listen to what he has to say.
I think the first thing you try to do is try to make plays. You know, playmakers got to make plays in order to spark offense or defensive football, you know. So that's the first thing you try to do, and then you just try to string together positive plays. You know, not have a good gain and then have a penalty, or have a good gain and then have another play that you go -3. You know, you try your best to string together good plays to get momentum going.
Between the crazy things that happened today on special teams, a 4th down conversion by them that goes for a touchdown, some very oddball things just kept piling onto you. The difficulty in overcoming that, do you sit there sometimes and say, what else could happen to us?
I mean, you try not to say that, you know, but I mean, we definitely had some, like you said, we had the touchdown 4th down. I had a 4th down, got called back. We had a couple plays, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you just have to string together positive plays and not shoot yourself in the foot with penalties and or negative plays.
You understand now that even with this game, you guys are still in control of what you need to do. How do you put it behind you and look forward to next week against Washington?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that that's the one positive thing right now is that we are in control of our own destiny, and ultimately, if you're a competitor, if you're a football player, you want to be able to play to win, to control where you go. So I think that's kind of the best thing right now. Obviously, today was not the result we were looking for, but we're going to learn from it and be better.
And finally, the mentality in terms of getting out of the slump, because it's been about a month now that you guys have been mired in the mud, so to speak. What is the best way to crawl out?
Like I said, playmakers got to make plays at the end of the day. You know, I see myself as one of those guys. Other guys in our offense, I consider themselves playmakers. You can't wait for somebody to open the door. You got to kick it in sometimes. So that's what we got to do.
Darius Slayton, thank you.
For sure.
That sound from Giants wide receiver Darius Slayton, brought to you by Ford as we take a look at his numbers today against the Eagles. Really locked down with Darius Slayton coverage, but he had 2 receptions for 47 yards, including a 37-yard long. He leads the team with 608 receiving yards on the season. That's a wrap for Darius Slayton. Much more to come on the show, but first, the Giants' official connected TV streaming app, Giants TV, brings original video content and game highlights on demand and direct to Big Blue fans. Giants TV is free on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV, and in the Giants mobile app. We've got much more to come here on Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by NFL All Day. After the break, we're going to hear from Giants running back Saquon Barkley. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
What if you could own a moment? A moment when everything is on the line. I know the moment I'd want. Sunday, January 16th, the playoffs. We couldn't miss. That's a moment I'd like to own forever. Now, you can too. Own the moments that matter. NFL all day.
Oh, that's normal. Whoa.
This holiday season, get 2.9% APR for 48 months plus 500 trade assist cash on a new 2023 Forte.
It's said we make 35,000 decisions a day. That's a lot to keep track of. But with the right insights from citizens, the money decisions feel easier.
We believe there's an innovator in all of us. That's why we build technology that makes it possible for every business and every person to come to the table and do more incredible things.
Shoots and scores! Mika Zibanejad! It's a power play goal! Zibanejad and Fire scores!
Tri-State Challenge is brought to you by your Tri-State BMW Centers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Enter MSG's Ultimate Fan Sweepstakes for a chance to win tickets to the Giants-Colts game on New Year's Day. 2 tickets to see the Knicks versus Suns and the Rangers battle the Hurricanes the very same week. Enter now at MSGUltimateSweeps.com.
The Hess truck's back and it's better than ever. Racing hot rods this year. The Hess truck's here. Hey, with wheelie pop in action. Foam up for speed and traction. Real sounds, bright lights, drag racing through the night. Shifting into high gear. The Hess truck's here.
A flatbed truck with lights, sounds, and 2 racing hot rods. Get it now at HessToyTruck.com with free shipping and batteries.
A tradition each year. The Hess truck's here.
Got to ask for it, point blank. But, you know, you can find beauty in everything. I really believe in that. And we got to double down. We got to come in, got to prep better, got to practice better. everything we want is still in front of us. We got a big one next week. Obviously, everyone knows about that. And we just got to come out ready to play.
Does it tell you anything with this game about how much more work this organization has to get to that level that we want to be at?
No, I mean, we have talent. We have talent in this locker room. We put ourselves in a really good position to play meaningful football in December, and everything we want is still in front of us. And they were the better team today. They got the best of us. They're a heck of a team. They were playing really well, but it's a long season, and everything we want is in front of us. So we got a big one coming this weekend. We just got to focus on watching film, put it behind us, and get ready for the next game.
What makes you think you have the talent? Play with them or beat them after what just happened out there today?
That's the NFL. Everyone's talented. Clearly they did a really good job today. Like I said, they whooped our ass. But the reason why I believe, because one, I know the talent, and I know the men that we have in our locker room, and I know the hard work that they put in and the prep that we put in, and we're going through a rough patch right now. We're not playing well. That's it. It's on us. We got to play better. But we've showed what we can do. We played against some really good teams early in the season, and we beat some really good teams. And that's the reason why we're in this position to be able to put ourselves in the tournament, put ourselves in what everyone's goal is, and to be in the playoffs and play meaningful games in December. If we weren't talented and we weren't a good team, we wouldn't be in this situation, and we are. So now we got to double down, continue to believe in each other, and it starts with all of us. Starts with myself, starts with the leaders, and get ready to come out this week and get ready for it.
That sound from Saquon Barkley, brought to you by Ford. 9 rushes, 28 yards today against the Eagles, but he reached 4,000 career rushing yards in this performance last week as well. He eclipsed the 1,000 yardage number on the season, his third career 1,000 yard rushing season for Saquon Barkley. Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by NFL All Day. Madelyn Burke, Shaun O'Hara, Victor Cruz. Guys, Saquon Barkley was a true game time decision. Came up to the wire whether or not he was going to play, dealing with that neck injury that kept him in and out of practice all week. But we saw what he put on the field. They kind of pulled him out earlier in the game, as they said was anticipated, Victor.
Yeah, I think it was, we all knew he was going to play this game. If he was good, if he had breath in his lungs and energy in those legs and his neck felt fine, he was going to play in this game. Not only for himself individually to try to put his best foot forward, but for that team. He knows that our chances get slimmer without Saquon Barkley on the football field, and that's plain and simple. So he understood that. He understood that his teammates need him, just his energy, his voice. Sometimes you just need a leader's voice out there. But he went out there and did the best that he could. It's just difficult. Like we said before, this front seven of the Philadelphia Eagles, Pro Bowl caliber front seven, they're going to pin their ears back. They're good football players. They know that Saquon is our focal point. They're going to pin their ears back and come after him with each and every time, each and every down and distance, especially with first and second down where he's more prone to getting the football. They're going to put guys in bodies and have attention around Saquon Barkley to make it difficult for him. But shout out to him again individually, having 4,000 career yards, eclipsing the 1,000-yard mark this year. But he knows in order for this team to be good down the stretch here in December and play meaningful football, they got to find ways to get him the football early and often.
Yeah, I credit Saquon for playing. He's been playing hurt all year. He hurt his shoulder in the Green Bay game in London, played through that. So Saquon's showing his toughness. I think for him, he also knows what he means to the offense, what he means to the team. Having him out there, even in a limited role, I think he knows that he provides a spark. And I think there's something to be said about that. There's some leadership qualities that I think Saquon has demonstrated this whole season. But I think also for him as a player, Madelyn, when you're hurt in previous years, you don't like when people start saying that you're injury prone or that, hey, you don't play 17 games. So I know that's probably a little bit of a desire for him, and that's burning a little passion for him to make sure that he can fight through some of this stuff.
Yeah, breaking that narrative that, hey, you know what, I'm tough, I can do this, I can play through it a little bit. And like what he said, too, you know what, we know we got a big one coming up next week. We're going to turn our focus to that. We're going to turn our focus to that one soon. But first, follow the Giants on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, and YouTube. Make sure to follow for the latest team coverage, breaking news, and content. Much more to come here on Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by NFL All Day. We'll continue to recap this one and look ahead to Sunday Night Football next week on a rainy Sunday afternoon.
Everyone loves an underdog story. You know why? Because it fills you with hope, makes you believe, right? Hold on now. Did you say any team? So now I can bet the overdog for underdog odds? Team Overdog, where you at? Let me hear you.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Bet just $5 to win $200 if your team wins. Action's so good, why bet NFL anywhere else?
It's finally here. The Ford Get Holiday Ready sales event featuring the best offers of the year. Bring the extended family across all terrain. Haul the presents and even the tree. You've got the power to make spirits bright. Inventory is arriving daily, so come on in and let Ford help you slay that ride. Now, take immediate delivery of a 2022 Ford F-150 with 2.9% financing for 60 months.
There she is. This is Gigi, my service animal.
Monkey in the house! Gigi! No, Gigi!
Pain is good. That means the nerves are working.
I haven't seen him smile in months.
Paige?
I've never seen anyone make such fast progress.
I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for her.
Who is this? It's Dad. He's disappeared.
I'm here to rescue you, Daddy.
I want you to go back to your families.
The three of us have to convince him to come back to England with us.
I am staying here.
Giants fans, check out the Coach Daboll Show presented by Stop & Shop. We'll look back on today's game and look ahead at next week's matchup. It's the Coach Daboll Show, airing every week on MSG Networks and the Giants social media platforms. Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by NFL All Day. The Giants fell to the visiting Eagles 48-22. For more on this one, let's send it down to the locker room where our Paul Dottino is with Aziz Ojulari.
I feel like everyone was fighting out there. You know, we was trying to compete, play hard, try to get a win. But at the end of the day, they ended up with the upper hand. All due respect to them, great team. They play well together, and, you know, we just got to come back harder, you know, and just focus on little things we got to correct and turn it around.
You knew that they were 11-1 for a reason. Their weaponry is very high profile. I guess they really showed that to you today as well, maybe even better than what the film showed.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we knew they had weapons all over the field. They had a good O-line that worked together great, and, you know, great quarterback. So, you know, we just try to play our best, and now we got to move on next week.
You got a couple of sacks. I mean, personally speaking, I know it's not exactly a salve for the wounds now, but that's something to build on for you.
For sure, man. You know, just try to come in here every Sunday and every opportunity I get, whatever day it is, to play another game and take full advantage of it and try to be my best out there and try to push others out there with me and just try to get everyone going on a positive way.
How much did you guys miss Leonard Williams? You're going to probably get him back for Washington next week, I would think.
Yeah, man, we miss him a lot, man. We need him, man. I can't wait to get back.
His pass rush, nonetheless, did show some signs. I mean, that's also something you could look forward to.
Yes, sir, man. You just continue to improve. That's the main thing. Just try to get better and, you know, make an impact anytime we're trying to win. That's the end of the goal. We just want to win. So whatever we could do to win the game, next game, is what we want to do.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That sound from the 22-year-old Aziz Ojulari, brought to you by Ford, as we take a look at his numbers today. And 22-year-old important because he's the first player with multiple games of 2 or more sacks before his 23rd birthday for the Giants since Jason Pierre. Paul, great game for Aziz Ojulari. Stay with us for more on Giants Postgame Live as we continue to break this one down. Brought to you by NFL All Day, the ultimate new way to showcase your Giants fandom, built for the digital world. Collect your favorite moments and use them to compete for epic prizes. Try it out today on NFLAllDay.com.
By the time this Giants fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Giants watching. Better with Pepsi.
Oh, that's normal.
This holiday season, get 2.9% APR for 48 months plus 500 trade assist cash on a new 2023 Forte.
Comfort is for every room in your home and everyone. When you take steps to improve your energy efficiency, you can enjoy all your favorite spaces just a little bit more. A home energy assessment is a great place to start. PSCNG offers expert advice to identify energy-saving opportunities in every room, and we'll help you pick the home energy assessment that's right for you. That's relaxation just the way you like it. Brought to you by PSCNG.
We believe there's an innovator in all of us. That's why we build technology that makes it possible for every business and every person to come to the table and do more incredible things.
By the time this Giants fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Giants watching. Better with Pepsi.
At the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, your safety and security is top priority. That's why if you see something that feels dangerous or suspicious, just dial 911. You won't get in trouble and you don't have to give your name. Let's work together and keep our region safe. Visit the Port Authority website to learn more.
Magenta. Magenta! Magenta!
The Epson Eco Tank. No more cartridges, just lots of ink. Print whatever makes you happy. The Epson Eco Tank.
Just fill and chill.
Connecting with Knicks fans is an amazing feeling, especially when energy explodes.
What's going on? We getting ready for that Knicks game.
I'm an MTA conductor. Bringing Knicks fans to the game is just something magical.
You're getting a haircut if you just want to hang out. What brings us together here is the love for our Knicks.
Let's go! We got a winner over here.
We cheer together, we laugh together. When you're able to bring all these amazing Knicks fans under one roof, there's something magical that happens. Surprise, honey. And we really just want to embody the spirit of Knicks fans.
Hey, Giants fans, check out the Eli Manning Show presented by Panini Prism Trading Cards. All you have to do is subscribe to the Giants YouTube channel to catch all the new shows. It's the Eli Manning Show this Thursday, December 15th, with a brand new episode on the Giants YouTube page. Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live. Tough loss for the Giants in the division as we take a look at the NFC East. Philadelphia improving to 12-1, leading the division. Dallas, of course, edging out a win against Houston at 10-3. Washington and New York who play next week on Sunday Night Football, rounding out the 4 NFC East teams. Fellas, this is such an important game for the Giants Sunday Night Football because they still have yet to get a division win this season.
Yeah, that goose egg right there is the glaring thing that when you look at that board. And I think for the Giants and even for Washington, for the Commanders, this is a playoff game. This is it. The playoffs don't start for another few weeks, but this is it. If you want to be in the dance, you've got to win this football game. And the fact that it got flexed to Sunday night is just going to add the juice, and it's going to add to the physical battle for the Giants. I'm sure Chase Young is going to be back because they just had a bye week. So this is going to be a big test and a big challenge for the Giants because Washington has had a full week to just kind of watch them get beat up by the Birds and, study the film and, add a few more wrinkles to this matchup. I mean, they technically have 2 weeks, right? They got to learn from the film that they watched when they played them, and then now they get a whole week to prepare for them, and now they get to play them again. So it's, it's kind of, it's on their side, and they have a lot of film and a lot of things to watch. But the playoffs start right now. I mean, if the Giants are in the locker room, if they're looking at themselves in the mirror, Coach Daboll's looking at himself in the mirror coming into this work week, the playoffs start right now. Everything's right in front of us, but we have to get these division games under our belts. I mean, last week when we stood here and recapped the Giants-Washington tie, Shaun, I think you said it. This is not an end. This is to be continued, right? Because looking ahead at Week 15 Sunday Night Football, so in a nutshell, succinctly, what needs to be the focal point for this Giants team to continue that with a win? Yeah, no doubt about it. The Giants got to start fast. All right, you cannot start slow and expect to stay in these football games. They're not built that way. And try to sustain. That's all they can do is once they start fast, try to sustain that energy for 60 minutes. Absolutely. Well, we will be here next week when the Giants host the Commanders. As you mentioned, off a bye week, well-rested, and 3 whole weeks to prepare for this Giants team. Sunday Night Football, lots of energy. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Victor Cruz, Shaun O'Hara, Madelyn Burke here on Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by NFL All Day. We're here every week after the Giants. Tough one for the Giants against the Eagles right there. I like the Birds even less now.
Birds, no
I
brotherly
never liked
love.
green, to be honest.
We'll see you next week.
Are birds real?
How you doing?
Hi.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you, Mr. RJ.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, gotta tell you, big fan.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, guys, so I'm here with Mr. RJ Barrett. Mr. Barrett, how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks for asking. So, if there was a Duke versus Kentucky versus Villanova alumni game at the Trading Center, who would win?
Duke's definitely winning. Who would you pick?
Maybe Duke, I'm gonna be honest with you.